what is happening is not only good for the region, it's good for the whole world, because it's threatening the capitalist system, it's threatening the global system as we know it, and it's going to liberate the Arab world, but it might liberate the whole world. And every liberation of people in this region is a step forward for the liberation of Palestine, because this is also one of the main objectives of this revolution. Even though it's a slogan and it's repeated. When we had in Cairo last week, people chanting, 3 million people chanting, we will go, and the revolution will go until the liberation of Palestine.
Okay, go until the liberation of Palestine. Palestine, in Cairo, I thought it was all about the evil Mubarak, and how the youth just love Thomas Jefferson and George Washington. It's 1776 all over again. They want the Western way of life. Why are they trying to threaten it? Because it's not and never has been about freedom, at least on the organized level. And you can see this now on how it's being framed. We should have seen it coming. I should have noticed this before as evidence. It's the liberation of Palestine. When we saw this, I asked our staff to go back and look, because we're glazing over the push Israel into the sea part. But if the news anchors would pull out, the Tahrir confetti away from their eyes and looked a little closer, they would notice something that I didn't even notice until today. Look, the Palestinian flag in Tahrir Square. If they would have looked a little closer in Greece, they might have noticed this. Oh, the Palestinian flag in Greece as well. If you would have looked a little closer even at Scotland, there it is, the Palestinian flag in Scotland. How about that? It's almost like radicals everywhere are uniting against the common enemy of Israel and the United States. But more importantly, if you listen to what he said, it's not enough to unite against something, you have to be for something. UBL was against the West and Israel and capitalism, but he didn't make it. This new group of radicals, which has the same goal, is against the same thing, but more importantly, they have figured out the key to the Western heart. It's the plight of the oppressed. This time, the plight of the Palestinians. So they will scoop up the useful idiots, the college kids, and they will use every single image they possibly can and mirror Gandhi or MLK, because the plight of the oppressed wins. It's a Madison Avenue trick. They have re-imaged themselves, not as killers and terrorists, with a complicit press. The Islamic extremists now are re-imaging themselves as Martin Luther King. But let me show you two pictures side by side. These men are not the same. This is the spiritual leader of the Muslim Brotherhood, and his dream is to kill the Jews. These two men are also not the same. This is Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, and his dream is to kill the Jews. Let me show you another one. This photo is from the Civil Rights March in Tennessee, and the other is the Gaza Flotilla. These are not the same movements. The followers of Dr. Martin Luther King never screamed or chanted, "Kill the Jew." They never screamed, "Remember Calabar." They never took pipes out and guns and beat people to death while screaming, "Kill the Jew." Those who marched with Martin Luther King were instructed specifically to follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. Again, this is not rocket scientist. It doesn't take a genius to say which way the guns are beginning to be aimed. Not only are they not coming with guns a-blazing, we know now what their strategy will be. We saw it last year with the flotilla. We saw it this year in Nakba Day. They will flood the borders, and they will force Israel to defend itself and provoke them to act out, and then snap as many pictures as they can of the injured, and the world will react. I know this will happen, as much as I knew in February what would happen then. We now have verification and video that this is true. We can't wait this time for the video of the things I am telling you that are coming to be true. We must link our arms together in our own communities and be a force for good and not for evil.
Are you being audited?